But Jackie, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and all the efforts you made to make this happen. We've been trying to do this since about 2 weeks ago, I think we started this. And now we're in the month of December.
Wishful thinking. It's cold outside.
It is cold. December 1st. And I wanted to get you on and do an interview with you because as a person who I do a lot, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a mom, and people are always asking me, how do you do it? And everyone always has an idea. Everyone always has this business idea or something they want to do.
Right.
And, they spend time asking you questions and never really go through with everything. Right. Mm-hmm. And I understand how that can be a challenge for us as moms. Mm-hmm. But you, on the other hand, we met at our daughter's pre-K program.
Yes. Yeah.
And we started talking and we got to know each other. And I remember you asking me, hey, can I pick your brain one day? Right.
Yeah. So grateful for that day. Definitely. That was the beginning of a lot of growth for me, for sure.
Yes. And I want to make a confession to you.
Yeah.
Because I don't like that phrase, pick your brain.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you why. Because people a lot of times want to pick your brain, but they don't really want to do anything with it.
Right. Yeah.
And I want to say that you helped me appreciate that, because now it's like people say, oh, can I pick your brain? Can I do something? And then nothing really happens. So you wasted my time and energy for nothing.
Right.
But in your case, that's not what happens.
Yeah.
And I want to say thank you for that, because
thank you.
It's giving a new perspective on that word, on that phrase.
Awesome. I'm happy to do that.
So I was so happy that I was able to do that, because today you are, and I want to turn it over to you where you can tell us about what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. So well, I am just so happy to be here talking to you today. And you were such a big part of the beginning of my journey, and you taking the time that day to talk to me was huge. I didn't know which way to turn with it all. And now I'm definitely set off on my path, but I'm so grateful for that. Thank you. But I today have an educational company in which I aim to empower families and give them the tools that they need to help their children within their own homes with early literacy development. And that was my professional background. I worked as a reading specialist for more than 10 years with kindergarten and first grade students. And I now have 3 little ones of my own at home. And I just hope to share the passion for reading and to make them feel that they are capable, and that parents can be lifted up and be given the confidence and the tools that they need to carry that out in their homes.
That's awesome. Jackie, as a mom, and I do a lot of things, but I'm always looking for ways to teach at home as well. Because I have a 3-year-old still at home with me.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I've been watching your videos, and I tell you, there's so many things that are so simple.
Yes.
All around the house that you can use in the kitchen, whatever you're doing, it's a learning opportunity.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's definitely the goal, is just to show people really what's right in front of them already, and that we don't need fancy, elaborate programs. Or I know that parents are very short on time. We all have a million balls in the air at any given time. And I want to show that even by working through 1 word a day, you're giving your children those building blocks, and they're building on it every single day, whether or not we know it. And it's certainly things that we're doing in our everyday lives, even as simple as cooking, and what educational opportunity can they draw from cooking, with measuring and predictions and things of that nature. So it's definitely exactly what you're talking about. Is the goal of the company is to empower families and show them what they're already doing is learning, and play is learning.
Which is so important, because a lot of times as parents, we think that the responsibility of educating our children is left to a school or a teacher outside the home. And basically what you're doing is like, no, it's in addition to that.
Right.
We can be doing other things where we're already doing those things. We're already in the kitchen cooking. We're already shopping. We're already getting dressed. We're already taking baths. And we can use those opportunities to also implement learning.
Right.
Which is
absolutely. Awesome. Thank you.
And I wanna talk to you a little bit about your growth, because I remember when you first started, and I think the mission of these interviews is to kind of help people understand that we are all afraid.
Oh,
Like,
yes. Yeah.
I mean, some people say, "Oh my God, you look so confident, you do it so well." Like, I
Right.
have my own fears,
Struggles. Yeah.
yeah, and struggles, and they don't go away necessarily.
No, never. No, I think it becomes easier and you become more confident and more empowered in your mission, and knowing that, I always come from a space of wanting to help others and believing truly that what I have can do good in the world and can help other people feel good and make families happier and more confident. So I think knowing your vision and the mission of what you're trying to accomplish through your business is so important. And as you do more and more things that put you out of your comfort zone, I think the confidence has to grow. And of course, there's always doubt, because this is new ground for all of us and we're all learning all the time. So anytime that I get out there and I talk about what I'm doing, it's a growing experience. Or anytime that I'm learning about new technology or new practices, all of this is brand new. So it's all, I always say it's like a struggle, but it's a struggle. It's a welcome struggle. And I don't feel discouraged as much as I feel this is just getting me farther to where I need to be.
I love the way you phrase that, a welcome struggle. You
Yeah,
guys need
right.
to
It
write
has
that
to
down
be.
somewhere. That, yeah,
Otherwise you might you might not make it, right? You have to, I guess, like just refocus, right? And reframe your thinking of, this can't get me down. And you and I talk all the time, and if something comes in, it's like, oh, that's don't let it distract you from what you're trying to do. And that's so powerful too, right? We all have our day-to-day lives, and maybe we have a sick child, or we have to get to the grocery store, or anything, right? There's always so much thrown at us, but it's important that, I think, if people have something that they want to share with the world, that they take steps to do that.
yeah,
And to try and know that it's going to be hard. And
yeah,
it still is hard, even after you get started, but it's worth
yeah,
it.
definitely.
Mm.
And so tell me about what is the bigger picture for you in all of this?
Sure. I would like to eventually offer consulting, lead workshops virtually and in person, to try to bring the message and to try to empower families on a larger scale. And I want to just right now, before any of that, I just want to share the message and share videos of what they can do with what is already in front of them. So right now, it's just the community is the goal, and me building a community and providing value to that community is the biggest thing that I could do right now in order to grow my business.
Yeah, and I've watched your growth. I think from one following to, I don't know, maybe almost like 700 plus close to. Yeah, I just love watching you grow and putting your videos out there, because I see a lot of people when they start doing videos, and they don't really know what to put out there. But do you have like a schedule, or how do you figure out what kind of content you're going to put out there?
Yeah, I do. And I think that was one of the biggest things that took courage, is just getting out there. And you think, oh, well, how is it going to be received? Or am I going to make a mistake? Or how do I look? Or anything like that. And I had read and heard a million times of that I am my brand. And from people seeing me and connecting with me is what makes the community grow. And I did truly see that once I started putting myself out there, that it did grow and people started connecting more with what I was doing. So I think consistency is the biggest thing. I try to, every day I found, I do 5:45 specifically. I have found that, I don't know, for whatever reason, that seems to catch. But I try to put something out every single day and just try to be consistent. And just try to, I'm always thinking, I'm always keeping a list in my phone of things that I want to talk about or do. And a lot of times it's truly just things that come up that day in my home that'll spark something. And I say, oh, I want to talk about this, or I need to get this out there. And it really happens very organically that way. So I'm really happy for that, because it gives me a lot of Yeah.
That's amazing. Because like a lot of times people are trying, well, I don't know what to say and I don't know what to
Yeah.
do.
Right.
And what you're just saying is like, listen, sometimes in the moment something comes up. You don't have to
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
prepare in advance. You could just be living your life regularly and
Right.
things come up, right?
Yeah. And we all have things that we're passionate about or that we have some kind of background in that could help others and that others want to learn from. So, I was blessed for so many years to have such a wonderful career that I treasured deeply. And I still maintained all of that knowledge and that I really want to share with others. And I still have like a sincere desire to help children. And I know that once that confidence is instilled in them, then their learning can take off and there's really no limit to what they can achieve from there.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
mhm.
So I want to go back to, your growth and you're putting content on there. When you're looking through social media and you're
Mhm.
seeing other people pretty
Right.
much doing similar or maybe the same exact thing that you're doing, how does that make you
Right.
feel? And how do you deal with that?
Sure. Certainly at first, of course, you're taken aback. And in a way, it becomes exciting to me. It's something in business called proof of concept that if someone is doing this and they're getting good results and their community is growing, then there is a need for that and people are interested in what they're doing. So it's almost exciting and empowering that I think I'm almost like we start interacting with each other, like other
Wow.
people that I've found that are doing similar things, like we're building each other up and we're kind of rooting each other on. And we all have different things that we're strong in, like my background being a reading teacher, and another person has a background in curriculum writing.
Mm,
And these are all things that are kind of woven together. And I just think there's space for everyone. And if someone, is doing something, a certain area better, it's like, that's incredible. And I think at the end of the day, as long as we're all helping families and helping children, I just think, we all raise each other up. And it's,
love
it's
that.
exciting for me.
I just, I've never heard anyone say it like that.
Yeah.
You know, I'm excited to see
Yeah.
others doing it because it's a proof of
Right.
concept.
Yes. Yeah.
That is definitely encouraging. That is
Yeah.
definitely encouraging. So if you're
Right.
listening to this,
Yeah.
please take note. If you see others doing what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
as Jackie said, it should excite you because it's telling you it's a need. It's a
Yes,
need.
yeah. And it's exciting because in a way you start out and you have this big idea and you think you're the only person in the world with whatever idea, but as you dig deeper, you will find, people doing the same thing and just don't be discouraged by it and don't let it stop you because your story is your story and you are your brand and whatever that is, Sandy has told me herself, like nobody can take that from you. So pardon me, that's a powerful thing.
Yeah, I think that I overemphasize how important your purpose is.
Mhm.
And if you're doing it in purpose,
Mhm.
your purpose is designed for you and only you.
Mhm.
There may be others doing something similar, but it'll never be you, Jackie,
Right,
right?
yeah.
You are Jackie, I'm Sandy, and we're all doing our own thing in
Mhm.
the way that we know,
Yes.
because it's like our fingerprints, right? Everyone's
Yeah.
fingerprints is different. And so the way you're doing it, you're going to do it in a way that's unique.
Mhm. And no one can make you give up. If, it's like I know that I'm not giving up and I'm going to keep going. And I think it takes a little while to find your footing and not know which way to turn. But once you really get started and you get into it, it's there's no turning back. And you have that vision and you have your sense of self and to just not give up on what you're doing
Hmm.
and just keep going.
Love it.
Thank you.
Tell me a little bit about your support that you have. You can
Yes.
tell me your children. I know that they have been very supportive because they're
Yeah.
probably helping you create content, right?
Certainly, yeah, they're very excited. We know that it's a family group project and we are in it together. And they know that mommy wants to help people and that I'm trying to share these things with the world.
Mhm.
And my husband is an incredible support system. And we had the idea together that we wanted to get into business and, through tossed around ideas probably for years. And then I, just had the idea. I started making educational games for my son who was bringing home these words that he had to use. So that's how the seed kind of got planted, and we just we ran with it. So it's good to have someone, when you're on the same page and is incredibly supportive and wants you to achieve that goal as much as you do.
Mm-hmm. Support is so necessary. Mm-hmm. And I always say that my kids, they support me. Yes. They help me stay focused, because I'm like, you started this because one of the main things for me was always being able to have more time, with the children. Mm-hmm. I know you talked about that last year. As a matter of fact, last year was when you launched your company.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And can you tell us a little bit about that, when you're, with your kids, and how that played a role in you making that decision,
Right. Yeah, certainly. So we had started with the business, and then my maternity leave came to an end. So we made the decision for me to return to the classroom. And, my Sunshine Learning was always in the back of my mind. And just with the time constraints of working full time and taking care of 3 children, and my husband having a demanding schedule, it went, on the back burner for a while. And then as time went on, we just made the decision for me to stay home and take care of our children, which was, a difficult decision, but a wonderful decision. And, my household is going, everything's going great. And it really gave me time to sit and think and refocus on Sunshine Learning and say, what do I need to do to make this grow? And what are the steps that I need to take? And when it's brand new, it's, you don't know what to start with. But, once you start making decisions and really sit in it and get going, it's incredible, really. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity. And I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be doing this every day. And it's great.
Awesome, Jackie. I want to go back to why you started, because a lot of times, we hear interviews and people talking about all the success of, how many clients you have, how much money you made, and the places you've been, all these different things. And for me, while those are important, I feel like not enough conversation is happening around those individuals who are taking those steps to build, to actually get to that place that we celebrate as much. So I wanted to let you know that I celebrate you.
Oh, thank you.
So the hard work, I watched you grow, and I'm watching you grow. And I decided to do this interview because I hope to inspire someone who's, just waiting, I don't know, for something to happen. Yeah. To take that step. What has to happen is you have to make a decision.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And sometimes we get so caught up in what others are doing.
Right.
That we don't start because we think that we have to be like everyone else.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so talking to you, I hope that our listeners see that everyone starts small.
Yes.
That person with all these followers and videos and all the different accolades that they have.
Right.
They started where you are.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us, or tell those that are listening, give us something that, to encourage those who are waiting or wanting and not knowing how to get started. What would you suggest? What would you advise them to do right now?
I would say, like you just kind of touched on, everyone will have an opinion about what you're doing. And at first that might not seem clear to everyone, but just to know, hold tight and determine what your vision is, what your mission is. And that is your guiding light of what you're doing, just to keep going and to not be afraid to take that first step. And it's new, and new things are always challenging, but there's so many beautiful things on the other side. If you have something in your heart that you feel like you want to share with others, and you have good intentions to help the world, then you will be successful. And, to try to do that with any extra time you have or any extra resources, to just get out there. The first step is the hardest step. So as long as you get on that, take that first step, and then after that, it will ignite something for you. Absolutely.
Love that. Yeah, the first step is the hardest step. You're right.
It is, really, it truly is. And there's so many first steps in your entrepreneurial journey, you know, everywhere you turn, but it becomes exciting and exhilarating. And you see, how can this grow me as a person and how can it grow my business?
Yes. As you were talking about steps, I'm thinking about when our babies take their first step, right?
Yeah.
It's the hardest, but it's also the most exciting step,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Because it's confirmation that you can take another step,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah,
So
that's powerful. That's a really good
yeah.
comparison. Yeah.
So Jackie, I'm not going to hold you any longer. Thank you so much for waiting, because you had to wait to do this, and all the technical difficulties we had. We tried different platforms, didn't work out, but we made it happen today.
We did. Yes.
Thank you
I'm
so
so
much.
happy to be here with you. Thank you for having me.
Is there anything else you would like to say to us?
I think, you know, I think we covered so many important topics, and just to have faith in yourself and find a good support system and just get out there and get going and show the world what you're made of. And that's it. You can do it.
And can you tell us where we can find you on social media?
Yes. On Instagram, I'm at sunshine.learning, and I will plug the link in the comments when the video is posted as well to help.
Okay, I will make sure to see if I can get my husband to do.
Oh yeah,
something.
We'll figure it out. Technology is so tricky.
Yes. But thank
Certainly.
you so much. Thank you. And
Thank you.
we will talk soon.
Bye, everyone. Thank you,
Bye.
Sandy. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.